Hey there guys, I want to apologize. The camera died out in class tonight on the live stream. My bad. I thought I had it charged up enough, but that kids class that comes before you, man, they're active, and I'm thinking that's burning out my battery a little bit. Anyway, what I promised you is just a quick review of what we went through, and to share with you at the tail end of class we did a number of kata. Now we're working on the Hanbojutsu Kihon, the basics. As always, we warm up with the jinenkan basics and what Manaka Sensei requires of us in our curriculum. I always loosen up the wrists, and then we go into Kata Te Bofuri, obviously on both sides. We move our body from side to side, and then we go into jumping just to get the heart rate up. Then from there, we break that down to the technique of Kote Gaeshi, Omote and Ura, and then we bring it together so that it's one movement, hit, hit. So that we're not just making it a swing, but we actually have the intention of hitting and then quickly hitting again, moving the body. From there we went on to review Kote Uchi, which is dropping back and striking like this. And of course, we change that up and then we move in different directions just to get the body moving in different ways for our warm-up. The Kihon, however, and what you're responsible for in the curriculum, if you're a member of this dojo, is hitting like this. So it's mandatory in all of our warm-ups. You got to get that one down, guys. Then the next one from there was Waki Uchi, and striking to the shoulder. And of course, the Waki Uchi could be Do Uchi, could be Ashi. It doesn't make a difference, but we're striking at this level. And then I have a pattern of the next four, just learning to handle the weapon in different ways. It's not a formal waza, it's just something I do here in my dojo. And I have drafted all of those different movements from both the Hanbo and the Jojutsu kata. So you're going to see those striking patterns elsewhere within the different katas, so it's important that you learn them now. That was the next thing that we went to. Then in our warm-up, we moved into the ukegata, or receiving methods. And Jodan Uke, drafted from Kata Te Uchi no kata, advancing forward with Nagashi, moving back with Nagashi, and then Chudan Nagashi, as we see in like Tsuki Otoshi no kata, drafted from that. So we have a middle level block. And then from there, Te Jodan Uke, or blocking with both hands, overhead like that, and Kata Te Jodan Uke, one hand like this. If you're familiar with the Togaku Ryu Ninpo Biken, then you know this movement quite well. So that was what we used to warm up. Next, we went into rolls. We went into some philosophy and principles of rolling. And I want to share this with you, and I want to share with you some of the reasoning for this. Now, it's pretty easy. If you can do a forward roll, and you can hold a stick at the same time, you can walk and chew bubblegum, you can do a forward roll holding a hanbo. But I feel that there's a lot of mistakes out there, and I want to share those with you, or share them on the class tonight. I want to review it right now. Anybody can take the weapon, they can put it down on the ground with their fists, or just hold it below their knees, do a forward roll over the shoulder, and come up. The problem with that movement, though, is that you're coming up with the weapon under your knees. Also, at no point ever can I imagine, if you're grappling with someone, or you're fighting, or you're using the weapon, or you're trying to control the weapon, would you be doing it right here? I mean, I assume there might be some reason, but that's not it. So what I make mandatory for my students is when we start rolling with a hanbo, is as you go down into your squat, you keep the weapon close as though you stay in kati aburi no kamae. Now this is a little bit of a commitment, because a lot of the newer students, younger students maybe not quite at the Yudansha level, have a tendency to want to put the hand down. So that muscle memory is automatically going to come forward like this. I want you to remove that, and I want you to keep the weapon close to the body so that you stay in kamae. Then once you're in this position, bring the shoulders down deep, bring the head down forward, keeping the weapon like this in front of you. Commit to your roll and stand. And in this way, the weapon is still in kati aburi. You can thrust, you can strike while you're coming up. You don't have to readjust to this position and go into a strike or a block or something else. So let me share that with you one more time. As I squat, I keep the weapon right here in kati aburi. I come down. The weapon doesn't really move with me. Not this. Not this. This is just like, I don't know, this is like second grade recess with a stick or something. Anyway, drop, weapon stays in front, commit to your roll, stand. Weapon stays in front. Now, a way to help build that I did in this class, and an exercise that I do with my students, is to drop and keep the weapon centered by using your hips. So now I'm not even using my hands. the weapon's here. And as I do my roll, I tuck my chin, roll, and I stand, then I re-grab the weapon. You're not going to be able to do this if your forward roll is lacking. You're going to end up moving to the side, and if the weapon's here like this, it's going to break your forward roll. You're literally not going to be able to complete your forward roll because the weapon is going to kind of open you up like a clam. Try it, you'll see what I mean. Anyway, keep the weapon in. Those are the two things we worked on with the forward roll. Dropping, keeping the weapon in front of you doing the roll. Instead of a lot of those mistakes I see out there on the internet by doing this, keep it here, commit to your roll. Good training exercise is to stick it in the crook of your hip like this and do your roll. And then of course, do your roll and come up on 2 feet with the weapon still in front of you like that. Okay, staying inside the forward roll, I wanted to lift this up a little, elevate the technique, and do it so that I'm now picking up the weapon. So now instead of maintaining control, I'm now regaining control. So both the ora and the omote here with the forward roll, maintaining control, like keeping control and then gaining control, those two different things. So same thing here, as I drop, now my hands are going to go to the ground, but as I go into the roll, I'm going to bring the weapon into me. So I'm not going to have this be my axis. So as I drop, weapon comes up, roll, stand. I'm going off the camera? We'll do that again. That was a little weak. I think the weapon was a little bit low. I'm really trying to stay on the camera here, but I think you get the point. You don't want to do the roll. Let me show you the mistake that I don't want is this. And you see how the weapon was down here when I finished. I want the weapon here when you finish. So if you come up in a squat, if you stop in the squat and the weapon's here, this is good. Okay, that was it for the rolls tonight. The next thing we moved on to was introducing just a basic sort of shadow boxing of the first 3 kata. Kata Te Uchi. I'm not going to get too much into the detail. I just want you to get comfortable with the basic combinations of movements. The first kata, Kata Te Uchi, stepping back, straight back on one line. So we're on a 2x4 here. And I hit up, hitting the arm up. The opponent's grabbing my lapel and then thrusting at me with a shoto. I don't want to get into the principle for the movement, but right now, you're pushing up. You're not carrying a nagashi like this, but you're hitting the arm at the point just behind the elbow, striking straight up as I drop back and really, really favor the weight on the back leg. Okay? Now, Tsuki Otoshi, the next kata. I'm doing Kata Te Uchi. Same movement here. Dropping back, hitting, but then in the next almost connected movement, Menuchi. I'm striking to the brow, the forehead right here with the corner of the weapon right there. Splitting the head. So, Kata Te Uchi. Ich, ni. Then press the weapon against the face so that it goes to the neck here. Press into the neck. Cross step. Bringing the weapon up so it's pointing down. The person's now bent backwards like they're doing a limbo, and then drive them straight to the ground and hold. And we finish there. There's another element of Zanshin when we do the kata that I make the students understand. But for now, Kata Te Uchi and Tsuki Otoshi. And then the final one was Uchi Gi. A couple different ways of doing this that I've learned, but basically stepping back, hitting the hand, bringing the hand to the end, bringing the hand forward, stepping forward with the outside foot. I know there's a lot of debate, is it inside? But specifically, several times, I've asked Manaka Sensei about this, and he did it as such. In this manner. I have also seen one, and then this foot comes forward, like this. And kaokuraki this. So, coming across, coming over. The way I want my students to do it right now is dropping back, 1, 2. You will also learn, 1, 2. Practice that if you want. You will also learn, 1, 2. If you see the difference, you know the difference, you understand the difference. But the differences between Uchi Gi, it's Kaokudaki. So a little bit of a higher level discussion. This is the stuff that we worked on in tonight's class. We made it up to that point right there. And this is a review for those of you who were on. For those of you who weren't on, try to hop on the classes. There's no sense in you being part of this community. You know, I appreciate the support, but we're only as strong as the students that we have training with us. So I would invite you to come in and train alongside of us. I'm not charging anything. I have no reason to during this period of unease that we're all sharing together. So please, if you have a chance, don't stand on the sidelines. Jump on the mat with us and give a little commitment of yourself. I don't care if you're part of another organization. I don't care what your sensei says, to whether they support it or not. None of that makes any difference to me. If you enjoy this type of training, my doors are open to anybody that wants to train. And I say that because I know that this is the same feeling that my teacher has. So please don't stand on the sidelines anymore. Those of you guys who were in class tonight, I hope this was helpful for you. I want everybody to have a wonderful and safe evening or day or wherever you are in the world. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thanks so much.